Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for our exciting webinar on Microsoft Power BI, how it's really enabling business intelligence for the masses. Our agenda today, we'll do some quick introductions to Fragility, introduce what Microsoft Power BI is and what it's really designed to address in the business intelligence marketplace, give you an overview of some of the technology, give you a short demonstration of the tools, and then talk to you a little bit about successful organizations and how they usually take advantage of the technology and take the next step in their BI journeys. My name is Rob Hirschman, partner at Fragility. We are a firm that specializes in Microsoft solutions, specifically the PPM suite, the BI suite, as well as Azure, and deploying solutions into the Azure cloud. We've deployed over 200 successful Microsoft solutions. We are a small business based out of the Washington, D.C. area, have offices in Miami, Florida, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, and have been recognized by both Gartner and Microsoft for excellence in this area. And we do offer a full suite of services and solutions, the services being Microsoft PPM, Project Portfolio Management, Microsoft's full BI stack led by Power BI, and then Dynamics and Azure. On the solution side, we have 3 BI-specific solutions built to help you enable better insight and information to your data. One of those is called Hammerhead BI. The next is Hammerhead Projects, which is a data warehousing solution. And finally, a third, Hammerhead Platinum, which brings all this information together into a full suite of integrated reporting and dashboard tools. If you have any questions, would like to reach out to us, we'll give you contact information at the end. But let's talk a little bit about Power BI. So business intelligence or BI has really come a long way. If we look at the different waves of BI we've seen out there, during the first 2 waves of BI, IT professionals and business analysts were really the owners of business intelligence. They made BI accessible and consumer for end users. So it would really be them that would design and deploy the reports, and then the end users would actually go out and consume them. While this still applies to a lot of complex BI needs, today we're really seeing a whole new wave happen. And this third wave of BI makes BI available to really every kind of user. So what we're going to be discussing today is Power BI, which is really a third wave solution. What Power BI does, it enables everyone to collect, analyze, visualize, and publish data. This third wave has a very, very high level of potential to expand the reach of analytics to more users than ever before. Existing analytic platforms and tools can be extended instead of just having to be replaced, so the good news is you can leverage existing platforms and tools you already have. Power BI connects directly to existing on-premise data, such as things like analysis service, tabulated reports, Excel services, and collaborative technologies. Excel and Power BI work hand in hand together, so if you have a lot of Excel reports and dashboards out there, you can leverage those. And publishing different reports and business models can be created by business analysts, giving them more power. But really the key is putting the power in the hands of the end users who are going to be actually accessing the data to ask their own business questions, really interrogate that information as needed. So what we're seeing really is the move up to the next wave of BI. So there are several capabilities that differentiate Power BI from other offerings that are out there in the marketplace today. Fill this out here. Power BI is a cloud-based analytics service that provides very fast time to insight and time to market. Typically used for visualizing, exploring, and extracting insights from your data. It tends to bring together data from diverse sources to deliver rich, comprehensive views of your business operations. What this means is with Power BI, you can see all of your data through really a single pane of glass and create analytics environments in minutes to monitor your data and share reports. It also enables the access to live dashboards and reports that show visualizations and KPIs from data that resides both on-premise as well as in the cloud. So you can leverage a lot of the data you already have today. It provides a consolidated view across your business regardless of where that data lives. So there's some very specific capabilities to Power BI that a lot of organizations really like. One of those, and you'll see it on the screen here, is pre-built content packs and dashboards, very popular for SaaS solutions, connecting into tools like Salesforce and GitHub, Zendesk, and Dynamics CRMs, whatever your tools are. These are already published out there, so you can very quickly and easily connect to your existing data. The tool also includes dashboards and visualizations to support real-time data insights. It provides a secure live connection to the on-premise data sources you might have in SQL Server or Oracle databases across a wide range of organizational information. So it could be in an Azure SQL database, a SQL database that has auditing, an Azure SQL data warehouse, maybe it's an Oracle application with an Oracle database behind it. The key is it really doesn't make a difference. We can connect into that information using Power BI. It provides automatically scheduled refreshes to keep the data fresh and in sync with what data you have on-premise. It provides native mobile applications for keeping users on the go up to date with whatever information they're trying to report off of. So if you can see it on your desktop, you can also see it in the mobile devices, which are available for iOS, for Android, and Windows Phone. It easily integrates with other Microsoft offerings, and out of the box it integrates with tools like Excel and Azure and Microsoft Project. And finally, it provides an intuitive data exploration tool, which really enables users to ask questions in plain English and try to get results from that. So think of it as kind of your Siri or your Cortana or even your Alexa for your data in your enterprise. So overall, Power BI is a software as a service offering delivered through Office 365 that enables anyone to easily connect with their data, create live operational dashboards, explore data via interactive visualizations. If you're looking for a little more information, Gartner has rated Microsoft very, very high on the Magic Quadrant. You can see it here in the chart here, actually far to the right of Tableau. So they're actually seen as both a visionary and a leader in the marketplace. And this was as of February 2017. So really for the second year in a row, Microsoft has placed further in vision and in the leaders quadrant. So this really, Power BI really does set Microsoft apart in the business intelligence tools space. So what we're going to do now is get into some of the actual functionality and how it addresses core business challenges. So Power BI addresses three common business intelligence challenges that most enterprises face today. The first one of those is getting an end-to-end view of all the things that are happening. Because that data is often in disparate locations, on-premise, in the cloud, maybe a hybrid, it can often be very difficult for business users to see a complete picture of all the information. The second key point is managing multiple data sources. And we have data residing in software as a service solutions, other external locations, applications on premise. It can often be very difficult to manage programmatically or to access and refresh securely. And finally, it's about making the right data available to the right user at the right time, so you can ask the right business questions and get results. Mobile business users often need the latest operational data at their fingertips to make a decision, whether it's a sales and marketing and operations, finance, whatever it is, you need access to that data. The other key thing is different roles have different needs and different access levels. So really a one-size-fits-all solution rarely works. You have dashboard solutions that are good for executives but not good for your business analysts, or ones that are good for managers but not for everybody else. So Power BI really does provide an intuitive platform that brings all the information together and is available to everybody. Power BI is both a business analytics service, and you can also use it to access your data through a single pane of glass. Live Power BI dashboards and reports really do show visualizations and KPIs from data residing on-premise and in the cloud. It provides a consolidated view across your business, regardless of where that data is going to live. This is Power BI in a nutshell, the overall benefits you're going to see to your business. We find fast and easy access to your data, a live 360-degree view across the business, the ability to do data discovery and exploration, insights into any device, anytime, anywhere, the ability for people to collaborate on reports, as well as the ability to analyze and visualize information. So overall, there's tons of benefits for Power BI, what it looks like for an IT pro as well as the people on the business side. So just a little bit of an overview of some of the components here. Power BI is made up of a series of data sources, and those data sources are ones you may already have today on site. You've got software as a service solutions, tools like Salesforce and GitHub. You may have on-premise data like analysis services, SQL Server. You may have content packs and other data sources. Additionally, it points directly to any Azure services you may have, any Excel files or workbooks that folks in finance, operations, sales, and marketing might have, as well as any Power BI desktop files. You're going to access those to retrieve the latest information. And you can see beyond that, the Power BI service is referred to as powerbi.com, and it allows you to create these different visualizations, these different reports. It's very, very powerful. We're going to have this Power BI service, and really key to this is that Power BI desktop application. So while the data is available through a browser interface, the desktop application is the one you're going to use to prepare your information, to explore it, to create those reports, and to share this content. It allows you to create beautiful visualizations to tell very compelling data stories, build rich live dashboards with business insights, create reports and data sets which you can visualize information. You get to enjoy the benefits of up-to-date information with real-time automated updates. Share those dashboards with people internal, external to the organization, and also natural language query allows you to ask questions. So again, Power BI is really the service here, and the desktop application is what you're going to use to publish and create a lot of your reports. And just so you're aware, Power BI is part of a broader Microsoft BI strategy and platform. At the top, you'll see we have different kinds of tools for different kinds of reports. Analytical reports or desktop reports, those are typically used with Excel. Power BI is strongest around interactive reports and dashboards. When we're talking about paginated reports, the kind you want to format in a specific way in print, that's where SQL reporting services really comes into play. And mobile reports are available through multiple different tools here, as well as Power BI, SSRS, but also something called Mobile Report Publisher, which is a newer tool available through Microsoft that lets you connect into your report services portal below that and create these different kinds of reports. The Power BI service at the left is available through the cloud. It is also available on-premise now. It was just released about a week ago on-premise, where you can actually run a lot of this functionality, but the functionality in the cloud, which is about a year and a half or 2 years old, is well ahead of where it is on-premise today, and will continue to be so. And down at the bottom, we have the mobile apps. So we have a Power BI dashboard, we have interactive reports, we have KPIs and mobile reports and analytical reports as well. So there's multiple methods for getting mobile reports out there, depending on the tool, who's accessing the information, and what they need to see. And finally, we have Office Online Server, SharePoint Server, and Office 365, which are really the environments that the tools are going to be delivered in. So at this point, we're going to give you a little bit of a demonstration into the product, show you what they do, how they work, so you can get a better feel for them. So you see, I'm going to share my screen here. And what I've done is I've logged into Office 365. So when this comes up on your screen in a second, you are going to see Office 365 splash screen with all the applications that are available to me. I have my email, I have my calendar, I have my Yammer groups, my OneDrive and my SharePoint, which I use a lot to store documents or collaborate with end users, my project management environment and Microsoft Project. Maybe I've got Dell over video or online PowerPoint. You'll see we have an app here called Power BI. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's actually going to take us into our Power BI user interface. So this is the web-based UI that the majority of your users are going to access based off of their role and who they are in the organization. They're going to see and access different reports. When I log in, I'm going to see the first level of reports that are important to me. So you can see at this point, I have a dashboard and I'm looking across different types of information. And I'm just going to drill into what Power BI is all about here. So I'm just going to click on the tab over here on the left, make this a little wider, and you're going to see we have the ability to have our workspace. We're going to access the reports that are important to us. Within that, there's 4 key areas. We have data sets, we have workbooks, we have reports, and we have dashboards. Let's start on the far right in data sets. And this is how we're going to be publishing out and accessing information that's going to drive a lot of the reports and dashboards that we have. What we're going to do is we're going to create data sets or a data model that's going to be accessed through the Power BI desktop application and published into the Power BI web application. In this case, I'm going to look at a couple of different ones I have. Maybe I have one for my human resources organization. And if I go to the right, it looks almost like an Excel spreadsheet where I've got a pivot table. So for HR, maybe the data I'm accessing from my human resources system on-premise is information about the business units. Maybe date information is important. Maybe employee information, such as the name, their status, their salary, how long they've been, or the tenure with the company. The different types of employees we have. If I want to model out different ethnicities or nationalities, genders, pay types, and then any reasons for separation. So if I'm an HR professional, I may want to actually access this data, and this would be a specific data model that's built out for me. So if I wanted to go in and build out my own report, assuming the data model was built out, I could go in and look at the different data here. I could look at the new hire count, and the minute I check that, data is going to show up in my report. I'm going to go down a little bit here. Scroll down, this over a little bit. Okey-dokey. And then maybe I want to look at the regions people work in. So I can see a breakdown of north, south, east, and west. And maybe I want to start looking at the age groups of these individuals. So now you see I've actually dynamically modeled some information. I've built out the successful business model, and I can now see in the Northwest, less than 30, 30 to 49, and 50-year-olds. And this is a profile of the data coming from my HR system. Finally, if I wanted to, I could build this out, and I could build another chart. So this will be ethnicities, or this will be ages, and maybe we want another one that has ethnicities. So we want count and ethnicity. And maybe we want to look at this on a pie chart. And we can move this around. And we can even create another pivot here and create another chart. Maybe we want a table. And in that table we want to have genders, and different pay types, hourly, salaried. And then I'm going to go up here and pivot that against my employees. So the average age of these folks. And then the employee count or the new hire count. So you can see I'm building out the report I'm looking to access. And since I've built this out, I can then go and save this report. Save this as, we'll call this our HR professional report on hiring data. Okay. So I've built out a report, and then that report is going to be accessible to me whenever I get back to my workspace, which is really nice. The nice thing about this is if I have a report, I can do a couple things with it. I can export that to a PowerPoint, I can publish it out to the web, I can print it or save it as, or I can export it out to something like Excel. I'm going to export this into PowerPoint, and I'm creating a briefing for my executive management team. I've got access to the data. I am not an IT person, I'm actually a business person playing an HR role. And after I've designed my report, I'm going to just show you here, right here, professionals report on hiring data. Now I've got all that data here. So within about 2 minutes, I've actually queried the data, gone in and created a report, and created a PowerPoint from that. And I've never touched an Excel spreadsheet. I'm using the data that's standardized in the organization. Additionally, if I wanted to build out a dashboard for this, we're going to create a new dashboard. We're going to make this the VP of HR's dashboard. So we want to give this to our boss. And we want her to see some of the key information that we've put together. Again, I'm going to click on the pin button, existing dashboard, VPHR's dashboard, and finally the third report we created, third element of the report, existing report, VPHR's dashboard. Okay, and it says go to the dashboard. I'm going to click on go to dashboard, and now this is the dashboard that if I provide access to my VP, he or she is going to see. And maybe she doesn't necessarily like some of the information here. She wants to move it around. She can drag and drop that information to make it look exactly like she'd like, or maybe add her own tile and say, you know what, I've got some content or some other information I want to add into this dashboard. She can go out and do that, and it really does push for self-service. Likewise, as the VP of HR, she could go out and subscribe to this or send it to somebody. So she's going to send it to Molly Dempsey, and say, Molly, take a look at this great dashboard. Jim built it, and it provides super insight into our hiring trends. And then I'm going to share that, and then Molly has the ability to come in here and access the dashboard. If she had any questions about it or wanted to query the data, all she'd have to do is drill into it, average age, click on that. It's going to take me to the underlying data or the report. So it's a really, really nice way to build out your reports. And again, it starts with data sets. And those data sets can be made up of different kinds of information you have in your enterprise. It could be HR information. It could be Salesforce information from your CRM system like Salesforce or Dynamics CRM. It could be time tracking information from your project management system or your timesheet system like Kronos. Lots of different sources of information. All we need to do is build out that data model, which is something the IT professional is going to do, and then we have access to it. So maybe we're in a project management world and we want to see all of our projects, and we want to look at project names, project benefits, plan periods. We can start to pull this information out, the project name, and we're going to move it up a little bit, and then we can start to build our report right here. Additionally, we can make it into a chart or a graph if it's that kind of a report, or just make it tabular, just like this. And the same process goes. So again, we start with our data sets, and we design our data sets. We're then going to develop different reports, and reports are unique looks into that information. So you saw us before develop a specific report. We've got different reports for resources, for projects, for Salesforce information, for milestones, opportunities analysis, procurement. And maybe we want a procurement analysis. So we're pulling information from our procurement system. Okay. I'm just going to query that, loading my data. And now we can see information about that specific report, such as who views the procurement data report, how is it getting distributed, what are the different platforms that are out there. It's a really, really nice way to look at the data and also see who's accessing your reports. Finally, if we wanted to build out some different reports, just to show you some performance management reports, and then we'll get into some dashboards. Okay. And we're going to go to reports here, and then we're going to go to the reports. Let's take a look at analyzing in Excel. We can go right to that report. And reports can be made of different pieces of information. These are some standard reports that we've developed at Fragility. You'll see this is a project scorecard that's actually allowing us to score our projects, look across our programs. So maybe you want to see all the projects that are on the CRM program. Want to focus on the ones that are red on budget, that are over budget, and also the ones that are red on scope. You can see we can dynamically query that information from within the report. And it's going to pull up a subset of that information. So I can see the 2 troubled projects, the help desk project, and the CRM deployment in Europe, see who manages them, what our work overrun is, what our cost overrun is, and I can pick up the phone and make a call. So it allows you to really interrogate your data that's available from different systems. Another one might be a dashboard. So you wanted a dashboard of information on a specific program or project or activity. Here we can go down and say, well, I've got this active project I'm concerned about in IT. Let me click on that. It's pulling the data from our project management system, and now I can see information like the top milestones, who the project manager is, what the work is by role, what our burn is month over month, and what resources are working on it. So if I'm concerned about Molly's time, because I know Molly's overbooked right now, I can drill into that and see what her tasks are and how much assigned work she has and what milestones she's responsible for. So the reports keep the relationship between the data. So as I change one element, it changes the others. And then I can dynamically look at that information, drill into it, and say, well, show me all the product engineering work on this specific project. And finally, we can look at information such as resource information. Obviously, most organizations are resource constrained in some way. So this would show us resource availability by role. So I can see all the named resources, what their availability is, and then start to drill into that data. So the second level here are the reports. Then we get up to dashboards. And dashboards is where we can bring information from different reports together. This is an example here of a dashboard that pulls CRM information from our Salesforce.com system with project management information and HR information. And you can see if we look down this, we have CRM information, who our key customers are, what outstanding work we have by customer, what life cycle phase are they in if we look at the sales cycle. Then if we go down at the bottom, we can see all of our active projects and where they're happening right now, what our opportunity cost is, what resources we have, what's in what sales stages, and finally, who's working on what projects that we actively have. So if we're trying to run maybe a services-based organization, this might be a good example. Maybe we want to drill into this and look at our active projects. So I'm going to click on active projects. It's going to show me all my projects on a map. Maybe I want to take a look and really interrogate that data and say not just projects on a map, but show me late projects on a map. Late projects on a map. And the system is actually going to know through normal language search to show me my late projects on a map. And then I can visualize that. I can drill into that and say, well, what are these projects? Where are they happening? Why are they late? I can drill into one of those. I can ask different questions. Or show me late projects by project manager. And I can see a listing of all my late projects and who owns them and drill into that information on a table. So this uses natural language search that's running behind the scenes in the business intelligence platform in Power BI. And just like Siri or Cortana or maybe Alexa in your home, you can see this in the future moving to the state where you ask a business question and the logic is built in because you built a proper data model. And this is really the power of dashboards and reports. So if I wanted to see an HR dashboard, so I'm pulling reports and I wanted to create this dashboard for my executives, they can come in on an on-demand basis and look at the new hire headcount by role over time, how many new hires they've had in the last 6 months, what that count looks like, how many active employees we have as a company, what our bad hires look like, and is it by a certain group or geography? What's our active employee count? How many active projects do we have going on for these employees? And what are the total active risks and some of the details and what we're spending? It's a great example of a dashboard using human resource information. Or maybe we want one on issues and people. So total issues, the total active issues, and the projected work we have. So you can see there's a lot of possibilities simply by building out a really good data model, looking at the data, and maybe we want to look at procurement data. Again, what's our discount savings? This would be coming from our SAP system combined with our materials management system, pulling it all together. And it's all based off of what's going on in the Power BI desktop application, plugging it in. which is a good segue into that application. So the creation of this information is actually going to happen in a desktop client called Power BI Desktop. And you can see it here on your screen. It's actually a desktop application just like any other Office application like Word or Excel or PowerPoint. And it's going to allow me to do a couple things. The first thing, if I look on the left here, it's going to allow me to build out a data model. I'm going to click on Data Model. And a data model is exactly what it sounds like. We're accessing data in our enterprise and we're building out relationships between the data so the system knows when I ask a query what to look for. So how does risk information relate to project information, relate to task information, relate to baseline information? Power BI doesn't know that until we build out the data model and we manage those relationships between the different data points. So the first thing we're going to do once we query our data, pull it into Power BI, we're going to build out our data model. And data models are made up of different fields of data coming from our source systems. We're then going to be able to see this information in tabular format. So it's pulling it from one or multiple systems that are being driven by our data model. And then we can build out our different reports and dashboards in the tool. And that's where this happens. So we can go out and get a data source. Maybe it's an Excel file we have, a SQL Server, an analysis services, web-based, OData, or there are more sources here. This will take us into the more sources list here. And you can see all the different sources we have. We have file-based sources. We have databases. And you can see we not only have Microsoft, but we have Oracle, IBM DB2, MySQL, Sybase, Teradata, SAP, even Amazon databases out there. We have all the Azure data lake database and data lake services. And then nicely, we have a series of online services. So if you're already using cloud-based services such as Azure, Visual Studio, Salesforce, maybe you want to look at Google Analytics and marketing and trend that against your ComScore, who's hitting your website or your Facebook page and see, how many hits are you getting for a certain product on a certain day. Or even look down here to QuickBooks if you're running your business off of QuickBooks or Smartsheet or any of these systems. They're all out there, and more companies are publishing their information out as services links into the application. And finally, we have other links. We want to tap into Active Directory because we've got a lot of HR information or resource information, or maybe we keep a lot of stuff in a SharePoint list. We can tap into that. Some kind of an OData feed or an ODBC or OLE connection. So we have a lot of opportunities here to point to different data sources. This is being updated by Microsoft almost on a weekly basis. So you're going to see new data sources come out, as well as new visualizations. So as we start to build out our reports and our dashboards, we can specify the visualization we're looking for. And maybe instead of a bar chart, we want a table, or we like rescinding diagrams or global charts. It allows us the flexibility to create different charts and graphs based off the data we've built into our data model. So the Power BI desktop application plays a very, very important part in this process of accessing your data, entering the data, creating your data model, and then creating reports and publishing them into the system. And then your end users can go in there and access them. They don't have to do the hard work of building out the data model. They can just ask the business questions. Which is a good segue now into Power BI users. So the key here is this is really built for any industry, anywhere. It doesn't matter what role you play, whether Power BI is relevant. If you're a business user, it gives you the ability to import data from software as a service applications like Salesforce and other applications you have and work dynamically in reports and dashboards as you saw. If you're a business analyst in the organization, it allows you to import and shape the data and integrate that into an integrated data model. It allows you to create compelling data reports and visualizations as you saw. And there's also content packs out there that allow you to take it and share this information with other users in your organization. If you're a BI professional, it's going to take it to the next step. It's going to allow you to connect into live data services you have like Azure and Amazon, connect into any on-premise system you have like an analysis services database or a SQL database, and finally it empowers your colleagues to create their own reports. You're giving them access to the data and a very, very powerful design tool that wasn't available before. So Power BI really does enable different users in different levels of the organization to ask business questions and design what they need based off their skills. And finally, for developers who are comfortable in a development environment, they're going to be able to integrate applications with Power BI. We're finding a very large trend in organizations going away from systems integration, moving more to data integration. And why would we integrate these systems when we could just pull all the data together, build an integrated data model, and report off it in a lot less time for a lot less money? It allows people to create real-time dashboards for executives when they need it, available on any device, anytime, anywhere, and develop custom visualizations beyond what you saw today. Some key takeaways, hope you get out of today, that Power BI is a cloud-based service. It's available through Microsoft that provides on-demand self-service business analytics to the end user. It has several benefits, including those content packs that I showed you, real-time dashboards and updates, connections to on-premise and cloud information, an intuitive data exploration tool, and it uses that natural language query where I can ask a business question and get an answer. It's integrated completely with familiar Microsoft products and services and is available as an add-on product to Office 365. So if you're an Office 365 user, consumer, or organization, it's going to fit nicely into your organizational strategy. Finally, it does support fast deployments, configurations of online and on-premise. There's actually an on-premise version of Power BI that just launched about a week ago. It is secure, just like the rest of Office 365. It's integrated with other IT systems. So the message here really is Microsoft is very, very far along. Even though Power BI is only a couple of years old, it's very mature and very well thought of by the analyst community, and we have literally thousands of people that are using this application today. There were some announcements, and there are over 5 million active subscribers to Power BI, and I believe that number has actually tripled by now. So we're up to 15 to 20 million users of Power BI at this point. It's pretty exciting stuff. So if you're interested in thinking about moving to the next step, whether it's I've got a couple data sources I need to pull together and create a dashboard or report, or I really want to do full-fledged, full-on business intelligence, we can help in a couple different ways. First, on the planning side, you may be interested in helping get a BI roadmap in place or develop an enterprise architecture for your business intelligence strategy, or even do some high-level planning. That's something Fragility can offer. If you're looking at the implementation side saying, hey, I've got this data, I really want to pull it together and do a pilot with 2 source systems, or take this one system that's really hard to use or get data out of, and let's build a dashboard on top of that and make information easier to consume. It can also be a full lifecycle deployment of a data warehouse, a series of data marts, and Power BI on top of that. And finally, we do a lot of work around support and optimization, whether it's driving use and adoption, ongoing evangelism, supporting end users, really coming in and helping with training and maintenance and monitoring of the solution. Business intelligence is really a marathon. It's not a sprint, but you can start out in small sprints and build that into a longer-term marathon. And Fragility is really here as a partner, a Microsoft partner, specializing in this technology and the solution area. So if you're looking to take the first step, please reach out to us. We do offer a BI roadmap and assessment. We'll come in and review your current state, determine any high-level user needs, business questions, data sources you might have, and help you develop a high-level strategy and a roadmap for deploying Power BI in your enterprise. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to the next step, there's a pretty easy way to get there. Some resources for you, the Power BI website, powerbi.microsoft.com. There's a ton of documentation out there at support.powerbi.com. There's a full Power BI community of end users, administrators, IT folks, community.powerbi.com. And the blog, blogs.msdn.com/b/PowerBI. Key tip here is that Power BI is a technology like the rest of the Microsoft Cloud. It's evolving at a very, very fast rate. One of the best ways to keep up to date is to subscribe to some of these resources. So we hope this was useful for you today. We're going to open the floor to any questions now and give you a little bit of contact information. Rob Hirschman at Fragility, specializing in PPM, Microsoft Business Intelligence, and the Azure Data Platform. We hope you enjoyed today's webinar. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.